Salisbury Plain is wide, flat, and empty, but rising directly out of this landscape is a dense circle of megaliths, some weighing 30 tons. The people who erected these stones left zero written records. For centuries, this silence allowed myths of wizards and ancient magic to replace historical fact. Since 2005, researchers have replaced speculation with hard data, deploying ground-penetrating radar, 3D laser scanning, and isotope analysis. The monument has transitioned from a site of mystical guesswork into a project of forensic archaeology. The most visible components of the site are the towering, upright sarsen stones. Geochemical analysis matches the chemical signature of these specific rocks to West Woods, a site about 15 miles away. The builders sourced them locally because they prioritized size. They wanted the most substantial stones available in the region. This 1991 paper outlines an older, widely accepted theory about the smaller inner rocks, known as bluestones. For decades, researchers assumed massive glaciers carried these stones to the plain some 400,000 years ago. Modern geological matching dismantled that idea. Researchers traced the exact chemical makeup of the bluestones to specific outcrops in the Preseli Hills of Wales. Humans actively quarried and moved them 140 miles overland. The latest data suggests a complex sequence. Archaeologists now suspect these stones formed a complete standing circle in Wales, which was later intentionally dismantled and hauled to England. Then there is the central altar stone. For a century, experts assumed it came from Wales as well, but recent isotopic signatures prove it actually originated in northeast Scotland, over 400 miles away. The builders bypassed local materials to deliberately curate massive stones from across the entire landmass of the British Isles, drawing from England, Wales, and Scotland. This massive geographic footprint raises a mechanical problem. A Neolithic society had to haul 30-ton rocks across vast, uneven landmasses without wheeled transport. The prevailing theory relies on timber tracks. By mounting heavy stones onto wooden sledges, teams could drag them over a continuous path of logs. Moving 30 tons across the grass generated immense physical friction. When archaeologists analyzed pottery fragments found near the site, they discovered they were coated in unusually high quantities of lard. Instead of being simple residue from a feast, researchers hypothesized this pig fat was used as an industrial grease, applied directly to the log tracks to lubricate the sledges. Constructing Stonehenge required highly organized brute force, a firm grasp of applied physics, and the use of biological lubricants. The effort was tied to the sky. The massive sarsen circle and inner horseshoe were engineered to perfectly frame the midwinter sunset and the midsummer sunrise. From there, behavioral interpretations diverge. Archaeologists Timothy Darvall and Jeffrey Wainwright proposed that the site functioned as a prehistoric healing center, the primeval equivalent of Lourdes. Their evidence relies on the high volume of graves excavated in the immediate vicinity. Many of these skeletons show severe trauma deformities, suggesting sick and injured people traveled great distances hoping for a cure. Another leading archaeologist, Mike Parker Pearson, offers a different conclusion. He argues the monument was designed specifically as a realm of the dead. Radar surveys reveal a massive structural network connecting the stone circles to a nearby Neolithic settlement, Durrington Walls, using the River Avon as a corridor. Parker Pearson concludes that the wooden structures of Durrington were the temporary domain of the living. Moving down the river to the permanent stone circles represented a final passage to the eternal ancestors. In this view, the stone circles served as the endpoint of a civilization-wide ritual passage, bridging life and death. Stepping back from the central pillars reveals a landscape engineered for miles in every direction, heavily dotted with avenues, burial barrows, and massive hidden structures. Just beneath the surface near Durrington Walls, remote sensing recently identified a 1.5-kilometer arc of massive Neolithic pit structures forming a vast boundary. These sprawling features were not built in a single burst of construction. The site was continually dismantled, modified, and expanded over a span of 1,500 years. Later cultures repurposed the grounds entirely. Romans dug pits for religious offerings among the stones, and centuries later, Anglo-Saxons used the perimeter as a site for executions. Extracting raw materials from Scotland and Wales and hauling them to a central point in England required an immense, sustained labor force that had to be fed and housed over generations. The ultimate story of this monument is not the mechanics of stacking rocks, but the proof of a highly organized, unified prehistoric society operating on a logistical scale previously thought impossible.